everybody, happy Monday. This is Overpass Live. My name is Eric and I make apps. So this is the weekly live stream where we just hang out and we talk about whatever we want to talk about. And just to change things up a little bit, I thought we just leave it on the old webcam and just go, we're going to go super casual today. Because, okay, so today's a busy day. Well, kind of a busy day because it's iOS 15 day. So iOS 15 is released today. So you need to make sure all your apps work for it. For me, it's been kind of an issue on one of the applications over the past few weeks, just using the beta builds and everything to make sure that everything works there. But that's out there. It's been strange. Like in the last week we've had like 2 iOS releases. We had 14.8. Now we got 15 today. So, lots of stuff just to make sure everything works. I was in Ireland last week. I went on vacation for a few days, which was really cool, right? And I was gonna do some videos there, but then I was trying to do the cheap Ryanair thing where I wasn't gonna first of all, let me know if you guys can hear me, by the way. I was trying to do the cheap Ryanair thing where I just packed everything into one bag and out of my camera stuff, and I thought, should I just leave it? So I just left it, and I thought, okay, I'll just enjoy the trip, and which is what I did. It was a very nice, relaxing trip, and especially after all the lockdowns and everything like that, it was kind of nice. It was actually pretty, wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, just traveling and everything. So that was awesome. What else is going on? We got the whole thing with the Epic and Apple, and what's going to happen with that and Google and everything like that. So anyway, thanks for joining the live stream. I'm sure I have lots to talk about. You don't usually plan anything for this live stream. We just sort of hang out. We talk about whatever we want to talk about. So I know I had people say to me, you need to have a theme, you need to have something you talk about, but I guess I'm just lazy, right? I always think people ask a lot of the same questions. For example, does anybody want to know what I think about Flutter? Today's a day to ask. So anyway, everybody, I already got thumbs up. So Joe's happy Monday, y'all. Happy Monday, Joe. Happy Monday, Joe, says Patrick. Oh, just to Joe. All right, well, there you go. Not to the rest of us. All right, but it's okay. Celtic Whispers. I know how to say it properly because I was in Ireland. Celtic Whispers. Eric in the house. What's up? How's it going? Rohit is here. Happy Monday, everybody. Let's see. MD says, "Hey Eric, how do you like Dart programming language? It sounds like ES6 to me. Is it?" I kind of thought the same thing. I mean, I like it, but I liked using JavaScript. And when I guess ES6 and TypeScript and everything came out, that was something I've never been a big TypeScript fan. And I know that a lot of stuff worked its way into the language, but I didn't like the whole transpiral type thing and using all that kind of stuff. So I guess Dart doesn't really have that. And it's similar enough, but there's certain things that just what is it? God, I think it's more I go from C# to Dart and back and forth, and certain things like capitalizing the word string and stuff like that still gets me. And I've been doing stuff in Swift over the last few weeks too. So that's one of those things where just sometimes those little, it's not like it's bad. It just kind of slows you down. It's a little bit like, it's about, well, I guess we start with a thumbs down. So things are good and it's sunny outside. Venkata Reddy, nice to see you for the first time. I remember the first time I saw Venkata. Our eyes met across the room and we said, I see you. But thanks for joining. Let's see. Everybody have a happy Monday. Yeah, well, let's all have a happy Monday. I am. I got home late last night from the flight, and I was just today's kind of feels like I'm just catching up with stuff. Like I'm trying to, for some reason, I tell you what, I can have days where nobody needs anything, but as soon as I decided to go overseas, all kinds of stuff was going wrong. Well, not going wrong, but just things were coming up. Like clients that I haven't spoken to in years, were getting in touch saying, "Hey, we got some more work," and all this kind of stuff. I was like, okay, I'm out of the country right now. Although, admittedly, same time zone, it wasn't that far away, but it's kind of one of those things I didn't want to stop and do all that stuff. So, Rohit says it is by Swoopy Games. I think Rohit, I think you're gonna have to put the name of it in it. If you put the link to a Google Play Store, it will get stripped out by YouTube. So you might need to just put that in there again. So yeah, iOS 15. I have not downloaded it yet. I need to. I've been using the beta version. So actually, no, I have downloaded it on one of my phones just this morning, but I haven't had a chance to go through and play with it yet. There's two things like downloading the new OS versions as a developer. There's the oh my god, I hope it doesn't break anything reason for downloading it, and then there's the hey, as a consumer, you're always like, okay, hey, what's cool about this? What new can we do? Like I can remember being really excited when iPad OS came out, and I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna be really cool to have this new OS. And everything's kind of like, eh. So I'm not even sure what the big advantages of iOS 15 are, except for the fact that we just need to make sure everything works on it and that it doesn't break anything. And for the most part, it doesn't. Most of the time, when the OS, one of the apps that I've been looking at today, it stopped doing a certain thing. I'm trying to say what it is, but I think it's permissions based. So like I was like looking at that this morning, trying to think what could it be, but then I'm like, you have to dig down into the code. It's some legacy code that I didn't write, so trying to dig down into that, saying, and it's not, it's just sort of like all of a sudden it just stopped working. Like, and when something just stops working, it's either there's been an OS upgrade or something environmental's happened, right? So and a lot of the times it has to do with permissions and oh, now you need to put the identifier, ask for this or whatever. Anyway, still kind of looking into that. So yeah, boy, I feel like I've been talking talking your guys' ear off, talking my mouth off, I guess. So anyway, it's a good week. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a really, really good mood today. Let's see. I'm gonna try to look up this Swoopy Games thing here. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, I'm gonna need a bit more information there, Rohit, if you wanted to have a look at that. So, anyway, so for those guys who have upgraded to iOS 15, have you guys had any issues? I've noticed issues specifically in a web view, calling certain things, but something that I've been just trying to a lot of times it's have that beta build and everything come through early. Ping Pong Mania on the Play Store. Okay, let's have a look at it. I'm going to share my screen. Oh wait, I'm going to share. Let's share it over here. Share my desktop. Savi, it's Javier, right? Or is it Xavier? It says Bello. How's it going? Let's see. Let's share my screen. All right, so we're gonna try to look at Ping Pong Mania. If I don't mess this up, cool. All right, on Play Store. Okay, so off the bat, I see there's two Ping Pong Manias, one by Vitor App and one by Swoopy Games. One of them has some stars already, which makes me think that it's more established. But let's compare them. I like the graphics. I do like the fact that you're using design and everything. Let's take main characters. Levels constantly added. You got one review. It was released. So you just released it. You just released it like this week. So obviously you're not going to be that established. Let me have a look. Let's see. I just want to check this. I'm really curious about this. Not to call you out here, but let's say Ping Pong Mania. How the moves. Real-time multiplayer. Okay, I want to go look at that other Ping Pong Mania. I don't know if you guys have this issue where like you on a Mac where you just want to go full screen, but you want the thing. Let's look at this one, Vitor App. Oh, okay. Well, all right. So Swoopy Games, I think, yeah, I think you're doing a better job at the design. I mean, who copied who? Okay, this is 2016. It's only got 7 reviews, so it's just might be just coincidence. I mean, I had this app called Agent X, right? And it was just such a cool name. I was going with it, and I didn't even look. I think it was like there wasn't one on There wasn't one with that name. It was an algebra game. It's now there's loads. Agent X, Agent X. Fred Ls. So yeah, but it's not the same concept. That's one of those things. If it's the same name and the same concept, then that's one thing. This is like all pretty cool. But we did one, which it doesn't even rank for the name anymore. Here it is, Agent X, where we got this cartoon guy. Basically, because it was algebra and you're solving for X, and that was the whole thing. I think I took the free version off because I didn't. I think I just didn't update the libraries. So it's basically go through and solve all these kind of things. We hired a graphic designer. I hired a comic book artist to come up with the designs for it. I also hired a sprite artist to actually do the designs for like the running. And these are like the. Let's see if I can get this bigger. I don't know if you can see that. So the running sprites, those are actually pretty good. But the first ones, I just had silhouettes, and they were awful. They were just like the worst things. Because so basically, let me see if I could zoom this in a little bit. Like you would jump through certain things, and you have to solve for X. So X plus 39 plus plus 72, whatever. So you'd have to solve for that as you're running, and then answer the right one, and then whatever. So tap on the right box and it explodes them, so you continue running. And we had a few other things like code break or whatever. But the thing about what I was saying is about the name not being unique. This is like once I did this, I realized that on iOS there was like an Agent X game, and so sometimes it's just it's a coincidence. So let's have a look. So let's see. We're talking about two. Let's go back to that. So we're going back to Ping Pong Mania. Swoopy Games. Rohit says, I wrote a whole lot. We're talking about the comments. I wrote a whole lot, but it did not post on the comments for some reason. Well, sometimes you have to look at like what language it's in, because you only see the ones. So like if we look at this in other languages by using the let's say HL equals US or something like that, you can see that there's actually that would be the same language. But if we were to say like ES, like you would only see the reviews for that language, but you see that ratings for all of them. So, but when you say you wrote a whole lot, did you write you're talking about the responses, right? And you didn't actually write the let's see. So you didn't mean that you actually wrote the reviews, right? Basically, I wanted to say that I just released it. Any feedback would be great. Okay, what do you guys think? I like the design. I think the design looks pretty good. I'm one of these, I don't know, I've never been big into the Stickman thing, but want to see how it ranks and what it could do to increase it in the ranking. Well, because it was only released like last week, it's kind of difficult to, it's kind of like difficult to know how it ranks just yet. Let's have a look. We have a look, but it might not even be on App Annie yet. So let's have a look. We're just gonna do a search on. All right. Okay, so if we go to ASO keywords, and we look at it from I mean, anybody can look at this. I don't have a paid account on this. So you rank number. Okay, so I'm looking at the United Kingdom. Let's go to the United States. And basically, for those guys who've never been on the live stream, a lot of times when we look at apps, we'll look at the App Annie keywords tool. It's free. It's easy to use. Rank number 2 for Ping Pong Mania. You rank number 31st for Ping Ping, tennis to table. Yeah, so certain things to you got to think about what people are going to be searching for and how they're going to find it. I think the designs look really good. Hilarious Stickman characters. I don't know if you'd say hilarious. I mean, that's one of those things where it's kind of like adjective, but oh, sorry, let me move this out of the way. Yeah. So I mean, what do the rest of you guys think? Let's go back to let me see. Let's see. Caleb says, "Rip." You mean rip, or you mean rest in peace? But hey, how's it going, Caleb? Um, let's see. Oh, Ping Pong Mania looks like I'm Ping Pong King on iOS. Ooh, Ping Pong King. All right, let's have a look at this. I'm Ping Pong King. Oh, it is on. Hang on, let's have a look. Okay, I'm Ping Pong King, 115,000. This is over on. So this. Okay. So, how many ping pong games are there? Ping Pong Fury, Ping Pong, Ping Pong, Ping Pong, Ping Pong, Ping. Yeah. Okay, I see. All right. Maybe there's a lot. So how's Ping Pong Mania? How's Ping Pong King actually ranking in terms of Google Play? We should look at the on iOS as well. Um, from Orange Nose. I'm assuming it's the same company, right? So they've been out a while. Let's see how they're ranking. You know, that's one thing about App Annie is that they are like, um, it seems like every so often they'll like remove some of the things. That countries top 500 reach, so it does pretty well. I'm just wondering whether this is a case of chasing something that's already successful in hopes that yours will be successful, and everyone's doing it at the same time. So, okay, I'm looking. Okay, I'm looking at the United States. Yeah, that's an interesting point, Patrick. I'm gonna have to look at this again. I'm Ping Pong King on the App Store. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying there. Let's see. Christian Juarez. Hey, Christian, how's it going? Says, does all that marketing and hiring designers money come back in return? Uh, Not necessarily. No, because like I hired a designer to do that Agent X one, and that was one where I thought it looked really, really good, but it wasn't. It just wasn't enticing enough. It didn't make a whole lot of money. Like that's a, it's you can't. You still have to have a good app. But if you're what you're trying to do is get them to download the. It's like having a good sign to your store, right? If it doesn't look like a good application, then it's unlikely that you'll get the download. If it looks like a good application and they download it and it's not a good application, then it's still not going to make the same amount. It's not going to make any money. But if you are competing with other things that are similar, then yeah, having that does make sense, right? It doesn't like you don't rank better. Well, you don't necessarily rank better because you have better design, but you get that click through. So if we look at some of these ones that we are just looking at, you can see like a lot of these had they might have very similar designs to each other. So for me, it was like putting out something like this is one I always like this on my. I have a list of ideas for videos to do. One of the ones I want to talk about is like having like some sort of thing, some flair for design, like just being able to put something out. Like if you're going to be working on something, you should be putting something out there that you're proud of. Like this is an application that when we talk about the return on investment, like if I hire designers, does that mean I'll be making more money? You could possibly, but that's not necessarily should be the reason you do it. It's because you want to have the best experience for your users as possible. So you want we've looked at some applications here before where they're just they're very basic, they're very functional, and I'm thinking, well, add a bit of color, a bit of splash, and that means putting yourself out there and say, even if you don't think you're a very good designer, which a lot of developers aren't, it's still worth putting something out there, getting a bit of feedback, and then adjusting it from there. So let's see if that makes sense. Rohit says, yes, that's where I got the idea for. It's on Play Store as well. I added multiplayer and other features. Okay. Let's see. Caleb says, give me a Google Play dev account for free. All right. Yeah, I can't give anybody a Google Play dev account. I've had clients ask me that. Can you set up my Google Play account for me? I'm like, no, there's so much banking information, everything. I usually let's see. Mr. Noob, hey, how's it going? Says, I hear a lot about building in public lately. What do you think about it? Building in public, what does that mean? Like app building or just? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you talking about like streaming, like live coding kind of thing? Let's see. Christian says, looks cool, Rohit. Yeah, I think it does look very cool. Let's see. Matthew. Hey, Matthew, how's it going? It says, I already have 2 1-month subscriptions for the Android version of my silver and gold scrap calculator. Cool. All right. Venka says, IDs equals com.local. All right, let's have a look. Let's see if we can find it. Com dot. Okay, let's have a look at the screen here. We're going to look at Venkata's application, Indian Ludo. I just want to have a quick look. If we're, I want to do a from scratch search for it, just to see where we. Okay, so Ludo King, Ludo. Okay, so at least come up first for the term. Get rid of that. Ludo. Okay, let's have a look. All right, so we're gonna go over here and look at the application itself. Play online with friends, 4 players game. Play with a computer. Compare with friends. Indian Ludo. Okay, so play online with friends. A 4-player game. Okay. Play with a computer. I guess if you, I'm trying. What I'm thinking is like, so. All right, you seem to be doing okay here, Venkata. You got like over nearly 2,000 reviews. It's funny how like all the bad ones show at the top, but. I'm just having a look at the reviews. I hate this game. A single player always wins. So let's have a look. So is that what we're looking at? Are we looking? So this is all right. Let's have a look at this. I think the icon is very. It's difficult to say. It depends on how it's doing. So if Indian Ludo is ranking well, then that's good. If it's something else that you could feed off of, that would be good too. Like if I were to go into Google Play here, and if I typed Ludo space Master Star Club, Ludo app, Ludo All Star, Ludo Snakes and Ladder game, Ludo AAP, Ludo BR board, whatever. So like this will be basically taking what people are actually searching for. If you type in Ludo as your seed keyword, does Ludo go by any other names? So let's see. Ludo King, mobile game, Ludo board game. Is it also known as anything else? Like, is there something else that we can use a drawing from? So, like, if you're a Pachisi, could that be something that we could put in there too? Basically, what you're trying to do is think of what people will be searching for. You might already have it in there. But if I was to type on that, there we go. We got loads of them there, but. So thinking about the keywords and how people are actually going to find it. I mean, you seem to be getting a decent amount of traffic because you are getting the reviews, and you got 500 plus installs. So you're doing something right. What do the rest of you guys here think? Let's see. Matthew says, but I cannot publish the iOS version because buying the in-app subscription does not block the banner ads. Okay. So have you got a rejection on that? I mean, usually what I usually do is, I mean, depending on how you structured your code, but having a variable within the application that just you attach to, like when the application opens up, you attach that variable like the is pro version, and that will be where you instantiate those ads. If you do make the purchase rather than remove the ads, which I always found difficult to do, sometimes I just send them back to the main page. Set that variable, send them back to the main page, and just reload the application. But I'm not sure if that is helpful or not. Nathi's Kumar says, is in-app purchasing work well? Is 15% Google will take? Google will take 30% unless you have to do some form or something. But yeah, they will. And will it work well? It depends on the application. It depends on how enticing it is. It's like saying, how would if I opened a shop, how would it do? It's like, well, it kind of depends on what you sell, how necessary it is, how much traffic you get and going by it, all that kind of stuff. So let's see. Christian says, good question. I've seen the thing about them lowering the fee from 30% to 15%. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of emails that were sending through. Although for some reason I couldn't get it to work on Google Play for me. And I did there was a small business program for Apple, but I filled in the form and I never got anything from it. I did a video about it like last year. Let's see. How to do ASO for my app, What's Touch, Play Store. Let's have a look for What's Touch and see if I can see what it is. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm gonna have a look. Everything we talk about ASO is just optimizing it for search. So we're for App Store, just being able to optimize it. So I type in What's Touch. Are you gonna get in trouble for this icon? Is that icon a little too similar? What's Touch? Share, save, delete, multiple statuses. Okay. Track WhatsApp usage. Filter photos and videos. Put whole movies as WhatsApp status. Dark mode. Repost to WhatsApp. So they may have okay, you guys notice that Google has dark mode this week. I don't know if they're rolling it out country by country, but I set my Google to dark mode. Now I'm like, and then I also noticed, what else went to dark mode? I may have been LinkedIn. I'm like, have we been clamoring out for dark mode this whole time? Because I'm never been that impressed with it. Sorry, but I mean, dark mode's cool. sorry, Natish Kumar. Let's see, what's a touch? Okay, so I'm still not quite sure what it does. Share, save, and delete multiple statuses. I know you can't say track WhatsApp usage rather than, I know you can't say WhatsApp. The benefit latest WhatsApp versions. This is status saver for all type of WhatsApp. Do you love WhatsApp? Okay. You got 36 reviews. 36 reviews going back to, and you're responding to all reviews, which is good, except for the one from yourself, which is which is cool. Nice, Kumar. Let's see. Cool. I mean, yeah, I guess how would you do it? What I would think would be what would people be searching for? Would they be searching for Android? Again, let's go back to the Ludo game, right? Look how Natish Kumar is using he's using as much space as he can. I know you get the subtitle now and all this kind of stuff, but status saver for Android 12 and below. yeah, it's trying to like, what are people going to be searching for and how can you do it? I would do the and below. I know you're trying to fit that in there. What's touch? Status saver. So if I was going to do search on WhatsApp status saver app. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Wow. Oh, I feel like I'm in Ireland again. There's so much green. All right, so status saver. This yeah, I don't know. I didn't even know what it was until you mentioned it. There's like a lot of traffic there. Yeah, I think you would like. Does it do anything different than everything else does? Because it might be something that you might need to find something to make it a little more niche. Because if I was going through, like if I knew what, like, hey, you need to get a WhatsApp saver, status saver, then I did a search on it. There's no way I would find your application on here. Because it depends on what search terms you're searching for. And when we go back to that, even if I did WhatsApp saver, let's say WhatsApp status saver Android 11, even then it doesn't come up. So it was kind of like the one thing you were doing a little bit different. And then they all look the same. All these icons look so similar to each other. So they all have the download thing and you have the touch. But what do the rest of you guys think? I mean, it's so easy to criticize, but I think we need something a little bit more unique to stand out in this very crowded field here. Let's see. Not to be negative here, but let's see. Patrick says I'm Ping Pong King was featured in 2018 in the App Store. I remember playing it back then. Oh, okay. Let's see. Christian says, "Oh, thank you for replying because I didn't have any luck myself by investigating ads. So I considered hiring designers may increase conversions. It might do, but like go easy. Like focus on the icon first. The icon is the first thing. So you've got the different stages. Like I'm gonna see if I can find. What if I'm just gonna do one of my. I'm gonna share my screen here in a minute. Thanks for all the thumbs up, everybody. By the way, really appreciate it. If I'm looking down, it's just look at my screen. Obviously, you guys know how webcams work. I'm gonna do. Let me do an app that has. A reasonable amount of installs. I mean, but not. I'm not gonna look at one of my big ones. I'm gonna look at because they keep changing the name of the report here, but it's the let's have a look here. So I'm showing my webcam again. Sorry, not my webcam, my desktop. So this is the report we want to look at, the conversion analysis report. It used to be the user acquisition report. But I mean, there's so much that is changed in Google Play that it might be more stuff in there. But like when you look at this, you're seeing that how many people have visited the page and how many acquisitions, store listing acquisitions, how many people are actually clicking through to it, how many people are actually doing that, and how you compare with the peers in the market. So like for this application, store listing visitors 102. So they've actually seen it. Store listing acquisitions 15. Which actually no, this is actually the time that they actually click through on it. So I think it's actually I think on the App Store you can actually see how often it's come up in search. But this is something that when we talk about focusing on this kind of stuff, this is the number that you want to increase, right? And at this point, it doesn't matter, Christian, about the graphics on your screenshot or your application just then, right? This is the first step, right? If nobody's actually clicking on the application itself, meaning it's not coming up in search, and if it is coming up in search, then they're not clicking on it because there might be another icon or whatever. Then that's where you focus on your icon, you focus on your title, so, and your keywords and all that kind of stuff. So you have to get to that stage. This is, you know, stage number one. Stage number two is if they actually are clicking on it, and then you have like this low conversion rate like I have on this one, then you would have like I mean, this is just one of the ones. So mine's really low. So you can see here it's actually pretty low, but I haven't updated it in ages. But this is kind of what you're doing. You like you have to think about the different stages. So if you're going to spend any money, there's no like, it's like I say, if you have a restaurant and you need to invest a bit of money in it, you don't say, okay, I'm going to fix the stuff back in the kitchen, because nobody's walking in, right? That's not the reason they're not walking in. The reason they're not walking in is because it doesn't look good on the outside. If you got it looking good on the outside and they're walking in or walking back out again, then you fix the thing that's on the inside, right? But like, that's the first step. So if you have to invest anything in it, you know, try different icons. And we have store listing experiments too on Google Play, so you can actually go through and set up an experiment and try different icons, but you need the traffic in order to actually get that. Let's see, Rohit says, I'm thinking about getting a deal with a publisher, as they can pour money into marketing and get the downloads, but I'm a little skeptical of the terms favor them a lot. What do you think? I've never used one. I never have. I never liked the idea of auditioning my app in front of somebody else, you know, like who's not the end market. Like I have this, I have this thing about people who are like, you know, they purport to be experts, and they're just like, oh well, obviously, and if they can't show me numbers, and most of the time, I don't know, I've never liked the idea of that. Let's see, has the ad revenue boosted at all for you, Eric? No, it hasn't. Let me see. I'm just gonna take a look at my ad mob here real quick before I show you my So my revenue is actually pretty low. I'm checking. This is how bad I've gotten. So this month so far, we're on the 20th. I made 134 pounds, which is a bit lower than last month. I can't show you my ad mob, but I could show you my daily revenue report. But no, it's about the same. I just need to get on it. I think the big hit I've taken was the iOS side of things, which is still a lot of my revenue comes from that, and I haven't updated the ad mob libraries from that. But how is it done for you guys? Let's see. Nathish Kumar says, give me some suggestions for organic downloads. I think people need to find it. I think what we talk about, like if you were in a very crowded market, then nobody's gonna find that application. So let's see. Nathish Kumar, my set. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit behind. So, Patrick says, I think the graphics for Indian Ludo could be better. I think so too. So let's see. Matthew Creek says, no, I just tested it. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible to do in code. So it's not sure what to say about that one, Matthew. Vanketa says, thanks for your feedback. Hey, no problem. Matthew Creek says, on the iOS version, subscribing instantly transfers you to the main page. Oh yeah, but you have to specifically remove those ads through code, right? Ads don't, just the same way that you instantiate the ad mob libraries and you preload that ad and then you display that ad, you need to go through and stop doing that. So like the ads don't run by themselves. You have to, well, I don't think they can. I mean, to me, it's like you have to figure out where you're going to place those ads and how are you going to show them. And if they're not going to show the ads, you have to programmatically remove them. So, they don't just show without you having any control over it. Let's see. Venkata says, I have an electrical degree. Cool. Let's see. And Matthew says, even if I turn off and on, the full screen ads go away and the banner ads stay. Yeah, you have to remove. I mean, just remove the banner ads. You want to remove them and stop loading them. which usually is like a variable within the application that says, you know, you know, if pro version, if the variable pro version is false, load the ad. Otherwise, don't do anything. So that's like, yeah, you have to, you know, remove those ads, even if you just hit it, right? It works perfectly on Android. I mean, yeah, we're talking about like code. I mean, I know that it's possible on iOS because I've done it in iOS. Now, if you're using something like Unity and you're trying to port the code over from one to the other, you might have to do some research and some Googling to find out what's different about the code bases of both of those kind of things, or whatever framework that you're using. But yeah, it's definitely possible. Let's see. McKenna says, I have an electrical degree. I just wanted to build one utility app for students. What do you think, Eric? I think that's, I think that's great. I think it's great to put an app on the App Store or the Play Store just because it gives you that experience of doing it. You're going to learn more by putting something out there than you will from not. And that will be the thing that gets you, like, you putting an application out there that you're not saying you have a utility app. So putting a utility app for students, I think, sounds ideal because you know exactly what it is that will benefit them and who the target audience is, right? You're not just saying, okay, I've got this game over here does really well. I'm going to do something similar to that. And I don't know who the audience is going to be. It could be anybody. And you're competing with everybody has the same idea. But if you are if you're something as niche and you have that specialty, then yeah, do it, man. Do it. I think, and because even if like 50 people download, or even if 20 people download it, you get the experience of putting that out there, and you have something that's actually useful, and then you also gain the skills from doing that. Let's see. Christian says that's a lot of green logos and apps. It was. Liam, hey, how's it going? Hey Eric, hey all. I hope your apps have been doing well lately. I just need to get on them. Most of it has been the client stuff that I've been looking after just recently. Let's see. Mr. Noob says, is there something like Kickstarter but for apps? Will anybody be interested in crowdfunding apps? I don't know. I could remember in the height of when everything was going on, where, let's say like 5-6 years ago, where everybody was trying to get like funding for their applications. But when you look at something like the Play Store, you need to have like a really solid idea, but also like a marketing plan. So I get this a lot. I get people who say like, hey, could you build my app for me? And I'll tell you the idea and all this kind of stuff. It's like, what about all the other stuff? Like, market research and, like if you're going to get somebody to invest in it, you have to give them a really good, well, actually, crowdfunding is one of those things that I just, it goes way over my head because I've never like participated in a crowdfunding thing. But and I've had prospects come to me and they want this big quote, and I'll kind of start going down that way, and then they start out they don't have a budget, but they're going to crowdfund it, and they're and it's going to be definitely it's going to be crowdfunding. Definitely people will go for it, and it's like, come on, man, like it's difficult to build something when you don't have the budget because you have to sell the dream. And I mean, which is people sell the dream all the time, but you have to be able to sell the dream. And if you can't sell the dream, then you can't. And sometimes that's with mock-ups, that's with user stories. Sometimes it's like with market research saying, okay, here's my target audience. Here's how much money they spent last year. Here's how we could tap into that. Here's why this app is different from all the other ones. That kind of stuff. So, but. Let's see. Matthew says I did that. Matthew, you got a technical issue, right? You have to, you're gonna have to, like we can't debug it on the live stream. So it's something that you're gonna have to, every developer has been there where you have to go through and find out what's different about it. Sometimes you might spend a lot of time on Stack Overflow putting questions out there, but you're gonna have to. There's a technical solution to it. You are loading the ads somehow. If you kill the app and reopen it again, do the banners still show? Do you have code in there conditionally to say that if you're subscribed, don't show the ads? If you do have that in there and the ads are still showing, are you making sure that you're waiting until the subscription has been checked from the Play Store or the App Store in order to before they actually do it? So are you like holding off on those ads until you get that response back, or is it making an asynchronous call and coming back before you even know what it is? So there's lots of things. There's like there's so many different things there to look at, where like we've all been there, where we're like, okay, it's pulling a thread and pulling another thread and pulling another thread, and like, what else could this be? What else could this be? And finding what it is. As long as you know that there's a solution out there, you keep at it. Let's see. Joe says, do something like that if the user subscribes with store kit callbacks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, you have to do, if it's asynchronous, do the callback and everything like that. Let's see. King of Apps says, for the WhatsApp app, how in this segment there are a lot of competence. A good tip would be to use SEO techniques and get organic downloads. I suggest press notes with a link to your app. Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, we talk a lot about keywords of being found through search, but if you search on that term and there's a gazillion applications that already do that, then you might want to like get that traffic from somewhere else. Like it might be, Facebook ads. It might be just your common SEO stuff and just getting stuff out there. Like people are, if people are searching for it, then you might. It depends on if you're the one who's found, right? So that's a good point, King of App. Rohit says, I have not released the app on the Apple App Store yet. We'll be doing it soon. Do you think I should include iOS 15 as well? Because my main source of revenue would be from in-app advertising. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about iOS is like they are really good at keeping everybody up to date, right? It's like Android, you can have like people like on older phones, everything like that. With iOS, they roll those automatic updates out, and it's they're a lot more they seem to keep people on the latest versions. And I was gonna say they support them a lot more, but I think it's more like iOS users have like iPhone users have more like if somebody has an iPhone that they bought in 2016, they're thinking about updating it, right? And so they already have something that's so like let's say the iPhone 8. Everybody I know with an iPhone 8 is thinking like, ooh, they're looking at the iPhone 13. So like this, they're keeping that moving. Whereas an Android phone, I think there's so many different ones out there, and it's not. This is not like I'm not saying this as like as a good thing. I'm saying because it's this dictatorship that Apple has that they can say you are upgrading, right? And whereas it's on Android, you've got Samsung. Oh, then are they going to actually come out with the next version? Is this type of phone going to? So you never know which the top version that they can upload on. So yeah, I would definitely say support iOS 15. If you don't think you make ads from it, then think about some other revenue stream for it. Otherwise, you're releasing something you're releasing an app to a diminishing market. If buy nodes equals false, load ad doesn't work. Yeah, it's probably a callback. It's probably an asynchronous callback. But you have to, you set a breakpoint and then you find out what gets called first. Like, does that, this buy.nodes, is that actually, if you put a breakpoint on that, what is the value of it? Right? This is a technical issue. Christian says, I believe that if you remove the ads manually to paid users, it could mess with your statistics. It could probably even ECPM because of the impressions solitudes ratio. I would only show ads if a user isn't paid. Yeah, no, I would too. I think that's what he's trying to do. Joe says, if I'd remove the banners completely, then go back and re-add them with a flag if it's subscribed. Yeah, I think it would be. It works on the full screen ads, but not on the banner ads. Yeah, because the full screen ads aren't shown. The banner ads are probably shown at the app loading time, right? So you might not even find out from StoreKit if, like I said, from StoreKit, or if you're using Revenue Cat or whatever you're using, you might not even know at that point because you haven't got the call back from them to find out if they are. So again, it's a technical issue. Like only you or a developer you work with can be able to figure this out because you can set the breakpoint on it right? Because because what you say sounds like it should work, but it isn't. So this, why isn't it working? If I had to bet, my first thing going into it would be, set a breakpoint and find out, is that bit of code loading before you're actually getting the call back from the asynchronous call to StoreKit. And if StoreKit is coming back and initially saying one thing and then another, then you have to cater for that too. I would say, because you were talking about a Boolean. In fact, because you're talking about a Boolean, a Boolean is going to instantiate as false anyway. So you could come back and do like if it's, if show as is equal to true, and then that way that if it's false, it could be either you have the answer or you don't have the answer, or you can make it a nullable Boolean, but then you get this. I think let's see. And Joe says it's like you're instantiating the banner ads somewhere else in your code. Then, yeah, I mean that's what I would say. Patrick says I heard a podcast recently about doing Kickstarter campaigns for games. They said that they spent so much time keeping the Kickstarter campaign that it competed with their time to build the app. Yeah, I mean that's yeah, like I said, I've had that where we have prospects come through and they want me to help them with a Kickstarter campaign. I'm like, that's not my thing. Like, well, could you give us some graphics? Can you do all this kind of stuff? I was like, that's still not like it's you could pay for the graphics, but like it's that's I know nothing about that, and I haven't never had anybody come to me and say, oh, we got all this money from a Kickstarter campaign. So Matthew says, Creek, sorry. No, that's okay. I'm just saying it's a technical issue, right? You step through it, right? It's like this is why developers, we all know what it's like to be sitting there in the wee hours of the morning saying, I'm gonna take this keyboard and smash it across my lap because I've been trying to figure out this stupid little thing for 4 hours. Like you're working on a bug, and something that should work, right? Developer, like this is what we say, like this should work, right? I worked with developers who were that was their whole thing. No, but this should work, and they will keep on it for days, and I'm like, it's not working. Do something else. Like they're like, no, but this should work, right? It's like, yes, like everything should, like but it's not. Like let's go. For whatever reason, it's not working. What are you gonna do? What's the backup plan? And sometimes when you do the backup plan, you forget why it wasn't working in the first place. So let's see. Morris Taylor. Hey, Morris, how's it going? Should I own a home when I start an app business or save the cash and rent? I have enough to last 3 to 4 years if I get a house. Or would it last a long time if I rent, but would pay off someone else's house? I think having an app business is. I don't think it's unrelated. It's unrelated, right? I think I'm not an estate agent. Like I used to have a mortgage. Now I like to rent. I mean, I'm just like, I don't know, Morris. That's kind of one of those things that I can't answer that question. Let's see. Bye bye. See you next week. See you next week. And Christian says, hey Eric. Hey Christian. What do you think about Itch.io? It's an indie games publishing website. I know it works for many devs. Probably isn't that known. If it isn't Itch.io, ITCHIO, and Itch.io was his name. Oh, download the latest indie games. Okay. Yeah, this is okay. So when we say if it's not that well known, let's have a look at the desktop here. So here it is, Itch.io. If it works well for some, then cool. But yeah, I get it. I think it's I guess it could be like, if people are visiting it and it doesn't take much to put your app on there, then you might as well give it a try. But like I said, I have no experience with it, so I have no experience with a developer or as a consumer. But at the same time, I'm not a gamer, so I don't even use like Slack. No, I use Slack. Steam. I don't use Steam. So like that's one of those things where like that's I would, if it's easy to experiment with, I would, but I'm afraid I don't know the answer to that one. So sorry about that. And so anyway, that looks like okay. And let's go. Morris says, is there a disadvantage to running a business from a home you rent? Like if you have to move somewhere else, Apple and banks would have to change their info on you. I would so okay, I see what you're talking about, Morris. So like to me, I always have like a virtual address, right? I don't. First of all, I don't like my business address to be where I live, just because I just it's kind of weird. Like I've had clients show up at my office before. Except when I actually used to have an office, obviously, where I was like actually go there every day and work there. And to have somebody walk into my office was like having somebody walk into my living room. It was weird because I'm not like it wasn't like a shop. I don't expect people to just pop by. And I was like somebody pop by going, "Hey," he knocks on the door. I'm thinking about doing an app. I'm like, like I'm a detective agency. He just kind of walked in. I'm like, of course I'm like clearing wrappers off, like sandwich wrappers off the desk and everything like that. I'm like, got my shoes off. I'm just like, you got music playing. It's like it was more like my I kind of consider my office to be my workshop. So that's one reason why but then that was my registered office. But like I don't want anyone coming to my home. I don't want my home address to be anywhere like that. So like to me, having just like to renting a virtual office someplace for whatever $10-20 a month, right? It doesn't mean I think what I don't like about that idea, and because in the beginning it was like, oh, I've got this, prestigious London address. God, it was so embarrassing when I had somebody show up to that one. I arranged a meeting for someone. I was going to meet him at his office. He thought he was going to meet me at my office. Little did he know I didn't have an office. So like I'm at his place. He's at some random place in Mayfair in London. But as long as you just need a registered address. A lot of people will use their accountant as a registered address. In fact, my accountant said they would do that too, but I think they were going to charge something for it. And you need to have a registered address so that if they send something to you, you can get it. When it comes to like bank accounts and stuff like that, banks follow you around. Unless you like change country, I can't see any reason why that would change. So, let's see. Caleb says, should I create a GoFundMe for a Google Play account or maybe an OnlyFans? Do an OnlyFans. So Google Play account is like what, $25? I mean, is it still $25? I set up mine in I set up mine in 2012. Yeah, it's $25 fee. It's like so I mean there's and I know that might seem like a lot. You say, "Oh yeah, Eric, but you don't understand. I don't make a lot of money." But you need there's some things you just need. You need you need to make an investment in some kind of things. So like, I have to every so often I have to, get a new test device or, upgrade my computer. I got to keep paying the internet every month. There's so much that you have to invest in this kind of stuff. And of course, if you're investing in it and you're not making any money back, then you're going to stop investing in it. But you have to take that risk to begin with. And the nice thing with Google Play is I've only paid them $25 back in 2012, right? Apple, they're $99 a year or whatever, but yeah. Let's see. Christian said, "Yep, I've considered maybe earn something to invest on Steam because the $100 paywall." Thank you. Oh, cool. I got mine at $24 USD in Argentina, and it was totally worth it. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're gonna have it there, and the fact that it doesn't go away is a big thing. It's kind of a weird, like, even I was kind of thinking, it's kind of think if they like. So on the App Store, every year, like at least every year, a few times a year, I'll have a client call up and say, "Eric, our app's missing from the App Store. We don't know what to do." I was like, and I always know what it is because they didn't pay their developer fee, right? Somebody was getting an email and they just ignored it because Apple likes to send you loads of emails that don't make it anything. Like, okay, we just want to let you know that such and such is happening. You don't need to do anything. It's like, yeah, thanks. But so they would just ignore these emails and they would panic, and it's like you just have to pay that fee. The thing is, though, I have clients. I mean, well, loads of developers. Like if their app's not working and it's not worth them just doing it, then they'll just let it go, right? So this is why you don't have so much clutter on the App Store because with the Google Play app, like I said, I got Google Play apps that have been out there for years, and I haven't even updated them. So I mean, they shouldn't rank very well, but there's no reason to remove them if I don't have to. So I think that's kind of a cool thing. Let's see. Can it be the put my ad banner on the main page? It depends on the code. It really does. You need to, I don't know what language you're using. I don't know all this kind of stuff because I declared the ad once per page. Yeah, you're gonna need to have something where, we're talking about like in this, if you okay, let's take a scenario. Let's say you're using a, okay, let's just take, like, I was gonna say like a Swift scenario, but let's just do any scenario. Every page has life cycle events. There's either like the on create, the resume, the stop, the on disappearing, the on visible, whatever like that. And that's something that you're gonna have to do. If you're declaring something at this when the page loads and you can't remove it or can't stop it, then what you need to do is take that variable and move it up a level so that it's in the actual page scope as opposed to just declaring it within the function. But it all depends. It's a code issue, so that's kind of one of those things. So that could be what it is, but it's like, again, if it's in Unity, like, it's a thing. Somebody has to actually look at it. Somebody has to, like, the only person who has access to the code at the moment, I think, is you, right? Or maybe you have somebody working with you on it. And only you can put a breakpoint in it and figure out why it's not working. So it's like, to me, it'd be like, yeah. I mean, it's if anybody wants to help Matthew out, but like this, it's really just sitting down with the code and figuring out why it's not working. And then, but in the process of doing it, you're gonna improve your skills as a developer, because we've all been there where we're just like really frustrated with something and can't seem to get it working. So cool. So we've been going for an hour now. I think that's going to be the end of the live stream. That was the last question that I can see here anyway. Everybody, thanks for joining the live stream this week. We'll try to do it again next Monday. Yeah, we should be able to do it again next Monday. I hope you guys stay healthy, stay safe. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the thumbs up. And I'll talk to you guys again next week. Stay safe. Talk to you later. Bye.